Harness racing is deeply rooted in the Swedish culture. Sweden produces world-leading drivers and trainers and hosts race days of highest international standard. But Swedish harness racing is so much more than the professional elite. The amateur trainers and drivers are considered the foundation of the sport, and local small-scale race events will often attract great crowds all across the country. Many drivers and trainers started with the sport already as kids, since pony harness racing is a popular activity for Swedish kids. There are 33 tracks in Sweden, but also seasonal tracks and even street racing festivals and winter events where racing takes place on frozen lakes. With a few exceptions, every track is 1,000 meters long. Harness racing, together with football and ice hockey, is the most viewed sport on Swedish television. There has even been a reality show where Swedish celebrities competed to become the best harness racing driver. There is no season to speak of when it comes to Swedish harness racing, although spring and summer is when the crowds will really fill up the arenas. During winter, people still enjoy the live action of harness racing, but usually from the restaurants. The Swedish Harness Racing Association take pride in working actively with horse welfare issues. Racehorses should be living their best lives both during and after the racing career. The harness racing industry is also a proud provider and sponsor of equestrian sports and equestrian research. Horse betting is widely popular in Sweden, especially the variations where you need to pick a winner in a series of races. The flagship of Swedish horse betting is V75, a Saturday institution. The mission here is to pick the winner in 7 specific races. Finding 7 winners usually pays big, but you still get rewarded for finding 6 or even 5 winners. There are 2 kinds of horses in Swedish harness racing: the standard bred and the so-called cold bloods. The standard bred is the international standard. The cold bloods originate from the rural workhorse and is a more robust and slow trotting kind of horse. As in any racing, equine or human, some horses are better fitted for shorter distances, while others thrive in the longer races. The standard distance is 1,640 meters, 2,140 meters and 2,640 meters, but there are also longer races. There are 2 different methods to start a race. You have the Swedish vault start, where horses 1 to 7 are in the front line, while 8 and higher start from behind. Usually the most beneficial starting numbers are 1, 3, 6 and 7. Then you have the globally known method when horses line up behind the gate of an accelerating car. Here, there's room for 8 horses in the front row, while horses with number 9 and higher will start from behind. Generally speaking, the front position is the most rewarding in Swedish harness racing. The shorter the distance, the more favorable the front position will be. Some trotters prefer the saddle rather than the sulky. This version of the sport is called monté. The rules here are pretty much the same as with harness racing, the difference being there's a rider on the horse instead of a driver behind. If a horse breaks out of stride and gallops, it may still recover, though it will be disqualified if the gallop lasts for too long or is repeated more than 2 times. Any galloping during the last 100 meters of the home stretch leads to imminent disqualification. The world of Swedish harness racing is growing by the day, with new race fans all over the world constantly discovering the fun and beauty of the sport. Welcome to our sport, which we simply call Trav.